joined by Mr. Raman Malik of the BJP, Mr. Ebab Grewal, Aam Aadmi Party spokesperson, Arif Mahmood of the RLD, Shilpi Arora, spokesperson for the Congress there, Parvinder Singh Sethi, Akali Dal spokesperson, Kalyani Shankar, senior journalist, Ambikanand Sahai, senior journalist who's staying with us, and Bhai Baldeep, political analyst who's staying with us as well for this hour. Let me first go to Raman Malik, BJP spokesperson. The gamble that BJP took in terms of joining hands with Captain Amrinder Singh and in a way tapping onto the discontent that seems to have been there as far as Congress old guard is concerned. They thought that probably Captain Amrinder Singh can take the space which Aam Aadmi Party seems to have already dominated, as we can see in the results which are coming out from Punjab. So that gamble didn't clearly pay off, Mr. Raman Malik.
See, first of all, I must congratulate the Aam Aadmi Party. If the trends hold the way they are set to form the government in Punjab, and I congratulate them because this is democracy and what people have chosen. We must respect that. Having said that, yes, I fully do agree on the fact that we did, for the first time on our own, fought elections in Punjab after a long time. But at the same point, I must also not forget that the kind of numbers that are being shown in Punjab today are something which is worrisome. And why I say they are worrisome is because, our concerns have not changed about the people who have fought elections, Aam Aadmi Party, their, the kind of statements which had come, the kind of statements made by various people. So now our concerns have not changed, and they will not change. But then, if the mandate of the people has come in a particular manner, we must accept it graciously, not becoming Bengal or not becoming other places. And yes, the fact is that we would be coming back very strong before the next election happens in Punjab. You will see that.
All right, let's also speak to Ebab Grewal, AAP's spokesperson. Mr. Grewal, thank you for making time and speaking to Mirror Now. As per the early trends, the AAP is looking for a landslide victory in the state of Punjab. I want to understand something from you. The Aam Aadmi Party has made some very ambitious promises in the state of Punjab. A lot of people say that the economics does not support the politics of it. Free electricity, you are also going to deposit money in women's accounts. A lot of freebies SOPs that have been announced by the Aam Aadmi Party. So how are you going to balance the economics with the politics of Aam Aadmi Party?
And thank you for having me, and thank you, Mr. Malik. Well, ma'am, the thing here is that Punjab has finally, if everything goes the way it is, Punjab has made a decisive choice this time, and we have a plan in place. It's not that we were talking from the top of our heads. We have a proper plan in place. We have a proper plan of how to generate those funds. We have a proper plan to how to kickstart Punjab's economy, how to kickstart all the other sectors which have been totally neglected for the past 25 years. And I know it's a very big responsibility and it is a big task. But as we have proven in Delhi, we will prove up to that task. And as far as anybody's concerns about the statements that were coming out, they were not made by our people, but they were made by people from outside. So we are very much aware of the responsibility that we have. This is a border state, and we are aware of the huge task at hand. And I assure you that we will stand up to it.
These people have been your founder member. These people have people whom you have given faith in by giving them tickets. Having said that, my simple point is a state which has about 4 lakh crore rupees of debt kind of an issue under various, not just the government, but various identities of the government, like the electricity board and other. You have shuffled the debts under various organizations. Now, my point here is that with so much of free being already committed, how do you propose to revive the economy? So that is going to be a question,
Let
but
me
today it is not a day to discuss all of this.
All
Because
right.
today
Okay.
you win, then
if
One
I
by
that's your
one.
glory.
Yes.
if I
Yes.
if I may just respond, we have made a proper plan on how to revive, or in fact, start the tourism sector in Punjab, how to revive agriculture in Punjab, how to revive the small scale industries of Punjab, and how to somehow bring back the heavy industries which have been just leaving Punjab for the past 25 years now. And we know it's a tall order. We know we come at the bottom of the table as far as the rich states are concerned, but we know the resilience of the Punjabis. And if the government functions the way it is supposed to function and gives a corruption-free environment, I'm sure Punjab will prosper and it will be on the top of the table once again. It might take a couple of years, but we are up to the task and we have a detailed plan in place
All right.
on to how to revive Punjab's economy and fortunes.
Right. I want to bring in Mr.
But to
Parvinder
Mr.
Singh.
Grewal, what would you think about the two states, Goa and Uttarakhand, where you were also making stall claims of making the government?
Well, sir, in Punjab, we have been in opposition, so people saw the way we function. In Goa and Uttarakhand, next time around, I'm sure the
You were
Right.
talking
Let's
about
bring the
results
focus
of
back to
Punjab will
Punjab.
speak
Yes,
Mr.
for
yes.
Raman Malik and Mr. Ebab Grewal, let's bring the focus back to Punjab. We will have enough time now to talk about other states. So when we get to that, you can ask your questions. I want to bring in Mr. Parvinder Singh Sethi, Akali Dal spokesperson in the conversation at this point in time. What went wrong? Was Akali Dal ever in the fray this time around? Because we saw, in fact, I'm being told we will be joined by Mr. Parvinder Singh Sethi in some time. In fact, let me go across to Kalyani Shankar, senior journalist now, just to get a perspective away from the parties, let's say. But if, I can throw that question to you also. What exactly went wrong? We can see that it was mainly, the big national parties on which there was a lot of focus. Even in Punjab, it was mainly the Congress which was actually getting a lot of limelight. Aam Aadmi Party quietly, but nonetheless, a lot of people, of course, had hopes from it this time as well. But what went wrong, especially for the regional parties there in Punjab, Akali Dal having been in such a strong position earlier, but this time around it was probably not even in the running. Would you say that?
To a certain extent, these 5 state elections is a story of the success of AAP. I think, even last time, 2017 also, we were expecting that AAP would win, but ultimately what happened, we don't know, they didn't win. And as you said, the regional parties, I think even in Goa for that matter, some of the regional parties, Maharashtra, government party like that, they have all gone. And why is it happening? It's because people seem to be disenchanted with the national parties like BJP and the Congress. And also, AAP has been giving them, saying that here we are, give us a chance. We just want to show you that what we can do in the Delhi. So instead of Gujarat model, now Kejriwal is talking about the Delhi model. And I don't think that just because of that he's got it, it's because of the hope which is provided. You know how well Kejriwal can talk about the hope. Even in Delhi, he used to say that free trip for women in the bus, and then free ration, free everything. In fact, most of the parties are talking about the free everything, the freebies. So people of Punjab must have thought that let us give one chance to AAP, and but that's a very big thing for AAP, because Delhi is a small state and it's not even a state, I can say, whereas Punjab is one of the big states. And we had been hearing earlier that Kejriwal is fed up with fighting with the center here in Lieutenant Governor and all that. So once if they win Punjab, he might even shift to Punjab as a full-fledged chief minister. And it might happen even now. I'm not saying it cannot happen. So this is Arvind Kejriwal's story of the 5 state election. Then the second story is that BJP is sweeping in almost all the states, which we were expecting earlier. According to our sources, we were expecting that Uttarakhand and Goa were maybe states, so that the BJP seems to overcome those states also, and they are doing very well. And the third point is the downfall of the Congress. Congress has already been sliding for the past 7 years, and it's going down further. And if you ask me whether it means the end of the Congress, no, I don't think it is the end of the Congress, because as long as a congressman lives in every village, then the Congress can survive. Maybe not in a, it has already become a kind of regional party. The status also has become a regional party status now. So these are the three big takeaways from this 5-state election. And Kejriwal should do well in Punjab. Otherwise, it will be just belying the hopes of the people of one state. And the same talk he did in Goa, but he couldn't do it. Even what is now Kejriwal's, when you hear all the leaders of AAP talking, Kejriwal's ambition is now towards prime ministership. So if he gets Punjab, like Mamata Banerjee is talking from West Bengal after winning it. So I think they are all now spreading fast the base of their party. And that's why they had contested also in many elections, because for a national party, you must have, I think, 5% of other states to get a national recognition. So these are the reasons why they have been spreading. But TMC also lost, which is, I was very surprised why TMC from the west to go to the east. From the east to the west. But anyway, they have not done very well. And in Goa and in Uttarakhand and even in Punjab for that matter, Akali Dal, the combination, BJP combination. So there was a direct fight between these parties. So now that direct fight has made BJP go much forward than the Congress.
Right.
Right. In fact, if I can, I'm being told Parvinder Singh Sethi is back with us. I had, in fact, asked that question, which I then later tossed to Kalyani Shankar in order to get a proper, larger, broader perspective. But Parvinder Singh Sethi, what according to you went wrong? What are you taking back from the drawing board this time around as far as the Akali Dal is concerned? Because the regional parties, in a way, largely speaking, in these elections seem to have been, in a way, decimated or playing a very, very secondary or even third fiddle role for that matter. So what went wrong for Akalis this time around, if we have to bring in that conversation here?
देखिए, हमने तो अपनी तरफ से पूरे प्रयास करे थे, लेकिन जो पंजाब की जनता का जो मैंडेट है उसका सर झुका के हाथ जोड़ के हम स्वागत करते हैं, क्योंकि जो पंजाब की जनता या देश की जनता जिसको मैंडेट देती है उसका स्वागत करना पड़ता है। लेकिन मैं आपको एक बात बताना चाहता हूं कि जब देश के अंदर मनमोहन सिंह हार जाते हैं और अरुण जेटली हार जाते हैं तो कोई किसी बात पे हैरानी नहीं होती। जब हरमंदर साहब के ऊपर टैंक चढ़ाने के बाद और 1984 का जेनोसाइड करने के बाद पंजाब में कांग्रेस जीत जाती है तो इस मैंडेट पे भी कोई हैरानी नहीं होती। लेकिन देश की जनता का मैंडेट हमेशा सर झुका के उसका स्वागत करते हैं और हम आम आदमी पार्टी को बधाई देते हैं आने वाले समय में पंजाब की बेहतरी के लिए, पंजाब की डेवलपमेंट के लिए, पंजाब की किसानी के लिए। और पंजाब एक बॉर्डर स्टेट है, मैं उनसे कहूंगा कि वो अच्छा काम करें और मेरी तरफ से उनकी शुभकामनाएं हैं। लेकिन अभी नतीजे तो जो अब तक के नतीजे हैं उससे तो ये साफ क्लियर होता है कि आम आदमी पार्टी काफी अच्छी पोजीशन में है।
जी, अकाली दल का डोमिनेंस ऑफ कोर्स पंजाब में इतने सालों से रहा। यू हैव हैड चीफ मिनिस्टर्स आल्सो फ्रॉम द पार्टी, बट सडनली वी हैव सीन इट्स बीन अ काइंड ऑफ अ स्वीप फ्रॉम दिल्ली to Punjab now that Aam Aadmi Party has been able to, in fact, actually, dominate and establish their position so well, even as an opposition party earlier. And now it seems to be, in a position to form the government very soon in Punjab. So is there somewhere that, the arithmetic went wrong, or you were like, probably, some people might even say being complacent about the AAP challenge or the AAP, threat, so to speak, that was emerging clearly from the shadows in Punjab and, of course, to some extent in UP as well. परविंदर जी, ये सवाल आपके लिए था।
प्रश्न था ना
जी।
हाँ, मैं ये कह रहा हूँ कि हमने अपनी तरफ से पंजाब की डेवलपमेंट के लिए पूरा प्रयास करा, लेकिन जो देश भारत पंजाब की जनता ने, आम आदमी पार्टी ने जो आज के समीकरण है चुनावों के वो चेंज हो गए हैं। उस तरीके से अब वहाँ की जनता क्या सोचती है, ये तो देखिए, मैं कहता हूँ कि जो लम्हों ने खता करी और सदियों ने सजा पाई, लेकिन मेरा यही रहेगा कि पंजाब की डेवलपमेंट हो, पंजाब का अच्छा हो। जो भी पार्टी है, जिस भी पार्टी को मैंडेट मिले, वो पंजाब की बेहतरी के लिए काम करे। हमारी तरफ से कोई कमी नहीं रही है हम 3.5-4 साल में, लेकिन हम अपना मैसेज अच्छी तरह से कन्वे नहीं कर पाए या जनता नहीं समझ पाई। या आम आदमी के जो उसके उनके उसमें उनको ज़्यादा अच्छा लगा, लेकिन आने वाले समय में जब आम आदमी पार्टी कुछ करके दिखाएगी तभी कुछ जनता को पता लगेगा कि देखने में और करने में कितनी सच्चाई है। क्योंकि जो पीछे की जो बातें हैं उन बातों को करने का आज समय नहीं है, उसकी समीक्षा करने का समय नहीं है। जनता के मैंडेट को हाथ जोड़ के एक्सेप्ट करना आज के समय में, और जिस पार्टी को मैंडेट मिला उसको बधाई देना, इसके अलावा मैं कोई और बात करना नहीं चाहता, और मैं उनको अपनी तरफ से शुभकामनाएं देता हूं।